So good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. It is with great pride and enthusiasm, I will say, that I rise before the body to acknowledge and highlight Black History Month. As you might know, the precursor to Black History Month was created in 1926 in the United States when historian Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History announced the second week of February to be Negro History Week. And the February timeline was chosen because it fell within the birthdays of both Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. That's why that week was chosen. And the interesting thing is that our country now celebrates Black History Month since February of 1976, but prior to that, as I mentioned, this was going on Negro Week in order to highlight the accomplishments of blacks. And so thousands of African Americans travel from across the country to see exhibits highlighting the progress of their people had since the destruction of slavery. Despite being held at coliseums, an overwhelming crowd of people, 6,000 to 7,000 folks would be waiting in line in order to see those exhibits because it was that important. And so the creators of Negro Week, that later became Black History Month, hoped that others would popularize the findings that they and other black intellectuals would publish and urge black organizations and others to promote the achievements that researchers were uncovering by looking back at history and allowing history to inspire us to greater achievements. I believe as the architects of Black History Month that becoming aware of and understanding Black history, going forward will both create and popularize knowledge about the black past and value the prominent role blacks have played in shaping America's history. Because black history is America's history. That's an important underpinning for us to understand. And my hope is that each person, whether you are in this chamber or viewing this speech at home, will commit to stretch your mind and comfort level to learn more about and value the contributions of Black Americans. My hope is that you would celebrate and appreciate the very contributions of Black Americans in education, medicine, sports, music, literature, ingenuity, and inventions, the military, architecture, space exploration, math, research, art, and teaching, and other facets of life. That includes even us politically, because most people don't realize that the first African American who came here to the Minnesota Senate was a guy by the name of Dr. Robert Lewis, who was in fact elected from St. Louis Park. Most people would think that person was elected from Minneapolis, but no. Dr. Lewis, who was a veterinarian, graced this body in 1972. The importance of that is simply for us to understand that blacks have excelled and have made tremendous contributions to life we all enjoy today. The tragedy is that so few of us know it. So the lack of information or ignorance can be a temporal condition if we assert ourselves to a higher calling of inquiry or exploration of information gathering. Knowledge can be accumulated expeditiously because we have access to information that is at our fingertips. That tool is simply called a smartphone. And I hope you would use it to expand your knowledge base. My hope is that you will also see the value in Black history so that a groundswell develops amongst us and that you would join me in making certain that Black history is taught or integrated into the mainstream education of every school and university as a part of American history the rest of the year. And like Woodson, Carter G. Woodson to be exact, I believe that integrating factually sound research on the history of African Americans, Black in this context, people in both formal and informal educational institutions would aid in the ongoing struggle to transform America and world social, economic, and cultural conditions. I hope you all gain enough understanding to appreciate the reality that blacks were not slaves who came to America, but were Africans enslaved in America. That is an important distinction and an important difference. And that you realize, that we all realize that when the Constitution in the preamble says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty, to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. This preamble is our Constitution, includes Black Americans as well, because we are to the people. So celebrate Black history as American history and learn of me and the rich contributions of Black people during Black History Month and beyond. Celebrate our vast intellectual capacity and join me in forging a path forward that improves the future for all of our children by letting them know who they are as Americans. Marcus Garvey said, a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Dr. Martin Luther King says, we are not makers of history, we are made by history. And former First Lady Michelle Obama put it another way. She says, you may not always have a comfortable life, and you may not always be able to solve all of the world's problems at once, but don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. So join me in becoming aware of the rich history of Blacks, celebrating and valuing the varied contributions of Blacks by committing yourselves to this lifelong journey of learning Black history and the countless Black men and women who contributed to and continues to contribute to the advance of human civilization.